Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to continue with part 2 of my Polish S.R.G 3. Now this is the one that is a year out of date. So let's get the lunch and dinner components on a table and see what this pack contains. So, welcome back to my part 2 of the Polish S.R.G 3, and to save a little bit of time I've already got the lunch components out on a tray. Now for lunch from this S.R.G 3 I thought I'd try a coffee with sugar. There is another fruit tea, but this time raspberry. We have meatballs in spinach sauce. There is the chocolate, the 60% cocoa chocolate, some of the infamous panzer plates or panzer crackers, and a selection of the candies and gum. So I think we'll start where we always like to start, and that is making the drinks. Now this is the instant tea again, as seen in part 1, but this particular one is raspberry instead of forest fruits or fruits of the forest. And because I've got a hot coffee, I'm going to have this one cold again. So like before, nice granules there, and I'm just going to use the small spoon from the accessory pack to give that a bit of a mix. Now I'm sure this would dissolve much better in hot water, so it does need quite a bit of stirring in the cold. Very granular. Okay, we'll leave that there to do its thing. Use that spoon, and we'll go for a coffee. Now there's 2 coffees in the pack but only 1 sugar, so whether you're supposed to have 2 coffees in the cup and the whole pack of sugar I can only assume, but for today I'm just going to use 1. It is a very fine powder, and we'll give it half of this sugar. There's quite a lot of sugar in there. I think half would be enough for my purposes, and again we'll give that about half a cup, half a mug. Probably if I was in a full mug I'd have used both packs of that coffee. Okay, now move things to one side slightly. I think we'll have a look at the meatballs in spinach sauce. Now I have pre-boiled this, it's already very hot. I had to crack the lid to let out some of the steam, but it's still extremely hot. It does look very spinachy, if that's the word. Let's just use a fork to give them a little bit of a stir. Actually, I'm going to pour that straight out onto the tray. Wow, huge meatballs, chicken meatballs, and a nice amount of creamy looking sauce there. We'll also open some of this chocolate. Now this is severely broken, and I have noticed it is actually, the packet is compromised, so hopefully the chocolate is in a usable state. And I'll just try and pour some out. Oh, not too bad at all. That's just a small amount that I'll just put to one side. And of course we have the well-known panzer plates, which I can't do, so I'll bring back in this magnum knife as seen in part 1, my free gift from the magazine. Now this meal, I'm following the meal suggestion again for meal 2, and they actually call these rusks. So whether that's the proper term for them, I would only assume so, or whether that's just the English translation. So they're rusks. So let's have a start with the coffee. So dark looking coffee with the sugar. It's very mellow, very mild, very nice. It's not bitter, it's not sour. Everyone who knows me now knows I prefer my coffee white with whitener or some milk. That would be an excellent cup of coffee. Even dark, just with the sugar, it's a nice, decent instant coffee. A very nice coffee. A little milk would just make that perfect for myself. Very nice coffee. We'll have a look at the raspberry flavoured tea. Again, this is cold. Very delicately flavoured, very delicate raspberry flavour in the background, not overly coloured, I don't know if you can see that, not overly sweetened. It's just a very delicate flavouring to the water in a nice, satisfying way. Nice, refreshing way. A very nice, light, refreshing raspberry drink. So, I think I'm going to go straight to the mains. Now, as you can see, very large looking chicken meatballs. I'm actually going to use the knife here. We have got knife and fork, so let's use them. They do look like a chicken coloured compressed meatball. Even that is still too big for my mouth, believe it or not. There's a lot of people out there laughing, saying surely not, but okay. So, let's have a taste of the meatball with a little bit of the sauce. It's soft, it's rubbery, but I don't mean that in a negative way. It just has a rubbery texture, very, very finely ground. Does not have a texture of ground mince or ground chicken. Highly processed, salted, peppered, and I'm going to say it again, very reminiscent of canned meatballs. We have here in the UK Campbell's meatballs and various other meatballs in tins which you can get in stores, usually come in a tomato sauce or a gravy. Very similar to those sort of meatballs, very similar to that highly processed food, but that in no way is a negative. Have a look at this sauce. I think I might be better off using the spoon. So this is spinach sauce. I think I made a mistake with the fork. It's basically spinach gravy, a light gravy containing some boiled spinach. Doesn't look very appetising, but it tastes very nice. Put the two together. Large meatballs, plenty of meat in a spinach gravy. Says what it is on the tin, and it is what it says on the tin. It's just that. Let's have a look at the Panzer plates. We know these now. Crisp, firm, caraway seeds. Not even going to try and bite it. I've discovered it's much easier just to break bite-sized pieces off and drop them in your sauce. Something that you can handle. Maybe difficult to know which utensil to use here, so I'm getting a bit of a mix around. So one of the crackers in with the sauce. A nice bulking agent, gives it a little bit of extra crunch, extra bulk, and in bite-sized pieces like this, much easier on your teeth. Very nice addition to that sauce. Now, I do eat all these generally, unless I find them truly offensive. The fact that I'm putting these in for later is a good sign. I will be finishing this after the review, so I'm just going to give those a few minutes to soak up some of them juices before I get there. Back to the coffee. Nice, decent coffee. Certainly one of the better ones out of the rations. a little look at this chocolate. Nice looking chocolate, unfortunately battle damaged but no blooming, so it's a good sign. Let's just break a piece off. Nice. 60% cocoa. For me, my opinion, is about the ideal mix. It's got just enough of the bitterness in the background at 60%, but there's still plenty of sugar to counteract that. And it's not too firm, it's still creamy and melts in your mouth. A very nice, decent, dark chocolate. Very good quality, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy eating that entire bar over the day. Now, most of us have seen these before now. They are a coffee sweet. I should just open one to show you. Now, I've had these before and I am going to eat this, so I'll just describe. They are a firm, hard candy with a gentle coffee flavour. They're not overpowering with coffee. They're just the right amount of coffee to make it enjoyable. Very nice candy to put in your mouth. After I've eaten this, I'm going to eat this, so I don't want to ruin my taste at the moment. So I'll put that there. And the same, we've seen these before as well. They are like a red berry flavoured hard candy with a softer centre, supposedly containing vitamin C candy. And again, a very nice, pleasant red berry. Very difficult to distinguish the flavour. You wouldn't say raspberry, you wouldn't say strawberry, but you'll just say it's a red berry flavour. So again, I'm going to leave that there just to finish after I've eaten this mains. So, quick recap. Coffee, good quality, enjoyable, not bitter, not sour. Addition of milk would make this a perfect cup of coffee for me. Very nice, decent, instant. The raspberry tea, very delicate, not over sugared, not over chemicalized. It is an artificial raspberry flavour, but it's delicately done and it's in the background. So it's a very nice, refreshing, cool drink. These meatballs, huge chicken meatballs. Rubbery in texture because that's highly processed meat. But as I say, not in a negative way. That is just the way standard canned meatballs are, the texture wise, and that's exactly what it is. If you've eaten canned meatballs in a sauce, that's exactly what you've got there. Surprise for the show is this green looking gravy, the green sauce. It's actually very enjoyable. It's salted, it's peppered, there is a lot of spinach in there making the green colour, but it's very full of flavour, very tasty, a nice sauce. The crackers are sitting in there in bite-sized pieces, absorbing that juice, and again they're the standard panzer plates, broken into small pieces, put in the sauce and allowed to soften. It's a much better alternative. The chocolate, good quality, 60% cocoa, which I think personally makes the ideal combination of the milk and the dark, because it makes it creamy, not overly brittle, not overly bitter. So 60% good quality chocolate. And the candies, coffee candy, nice, flavourful, not overpowering coffee, and a red fruit berry, which I'm going to eat after I've eaten the rest of this lunch. So I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching, and please rejoin me for the evening meal or dinner. Welcome back to this dinner or evening meal portion of the S.R.G 3, and for that I've gone with the meal suggestion again on the packet, and I have a lemon tea. There is the fig and fruit bar. The main meal is the beef in its own juices. It does call for more of the crisp breads, but I have some crisp breads left here and one of the rusks or crackers, so I'm going to use both. There is some strawberry jam, and I have some gum and salt and pepper. So let's get straight off again with the drinks. This time no coffee, so I'm going to have this one hot. This is the instant tea, lemon this time, so I'm going to have a hot lemon. Just like before, it's the coarse granules, and I'm going to use hot water to find the right spoon and just dissolve that. In 3/4 of a mug of hot water. Wash the spoon there, so it does look like tea without any milk. A quick taste. Very nice, very sweet, slight hint of lemon, a very nice lemon flavoured tea. I think we'll have a look at this fig bar, fig and fruit bar. Which is just some compressed dried fruit in some sugar paper, edible paper. Now we've seen these crackers before. I didn't want to open the other packets, these are left over from the previous meals, but we have some of the crackers, crisp bread, and another one of those hardtack biscuits. Now I do have a pack of both of these still behind me, and there is still some left there, so you get plenty of crackers. We'll have a look at the strawberry jam. Nice firm set looking jam there. Just move these out of the way. And again, we had 3 sets of utensils. This one set has done all 3 meals, so even though they look flimsy, they are up to the job if you take care. And this is beef in its own gravy, own juices, so I'll basically take that to mean beef in fat. I have warmed it, as you can see, very hot. I do like to make sure mine are very hot, and I'm going to pour it out onto the tray. It does look like melted fat there. Oh, and I've splashed that all over my table. Let's move that to one side. So, let's get started. We have the tea. I've just had a taste of this. Very nice lemon flavoured hot drink now. Not too sweet, not too sour. Very reminiscent of a Lemsip cold remedy we have here in the UK. I have mentioned that before, but it is. If anyone's had a Lemsip cold remedy, that's exactly what it tastes like. Now I have spilt some gravy on my fruit bar, so I'll just wipe that off. I don't fancy beef flavoured fruit bar. And I think we'll go straight to the mains. Back to the knife and fork. There's a large slab of meat. It does say it's ground and recompressed, so it isn't a steak. I think I probably should have poured off some of those juices, but let's break it up a little and show you what it looks like. It's almost like a pulled pork, pulled beef being recompressed back into a solid block. And that is the texture of pulled pork, pulled beef. It's the strings of beef, so very easy to eat, very recognisable, large chunk of pulled beef. You would say it's a little bit overcooked. If this was a steak, you'd say it's way overcooked, but out of a can, more than adequate. Very tasty. Right amount of salt, right amount of pepper. There is nothing else. It is just beef, pulled beef, well cooked pulled beef. Little bit of the crackers again. We saw these on the breakfast. There's a little bit on the edge there. Nice and crisp. Nice background bulking agent. Soaks up that juice very well. I think if you just eat too much of that juice, it may feel quite sick. It does give the impression it's just melted fat. Tasty, but that large quantity might be a little bit too much. Same again with the rusk. I shan't put too much in there. A little bit of rusk. Excuse fingers, I'm chasing everything around the tray. A little bit of rusk with the beef. Yeah. That actually is a better combination than the cracker, than the crisp bread. It doesn't soak up as much of the fat. And finally, let's have a look at the jam, using a little piece of the cracker. Again, break a bite-sized portion off. That is very set, very firm, a little bit overly so. I would say that's got a setting agent in it rather than just being naturally set jam. But still very strawberry flavoured, very fruit flavoured, very tasty jam. Very nice. Artificially set, I think, but it still has a very nice flavour. Let's have a look at this fig and dried fruit bar. Peel a little bit of the sugar paper off. I know you can eat that, but it's just to give you a view. That paper comes off nice and easy, so I shall. It is just dried figs. Anyone that's eaten dried figs and raisins, that's exactly what it is. Dried figs and raisins compressed into a flat block. A little bit of jam on there. A little bit of jam. That's a nice way to eat it. Strawberry, fig, there's raisins or sultanas in there, and jam. Lovely. Last but not least, have a look at one of these xylitol gums. 2 little bricks, briquettes. I should just have one. Crispy shell, nice and fresh, very refreshing mint. Helps clear your palate after all these meats. Very nice, decent spearmint flavoured gum. I need to take that gum out, it's almost a shame to waste it, but again, I am going to finish this. I don't think I'll use all the juice, but the meat is certainly very tasty. So, quick recap. The fig bar, it's just that, it's compressed figs with raisins, and that's exactly what it tastes like. It doesn't taste like there's anything else in there, just natural figs and raisins. Very nice, very tasty. The meat is pulled pork in texture, or pulled stringed beef. Don't think you need all of the juice. It might be better to pour some of the juice off, but a very nice, just meat. There is nothing else to say. It's just well cooked beef. Crackers, we've already done before in the last two. Very decent, very good background agents for the other meals. The jam, nice flavour. Think it's been set chemical set jam, or with gelatine or something added to it. But with that said, it's still a very nice sweet strawberry jam. And the gum, very nice mouth cleansing gum. So that was the bulk of the contents of the Polish S.R.G 3. I have a look behind me on the table. I still have a load of chocolate, half a dozen candies, a packet each of the biscuits, 4 cups, 2 sets of cutlery, 2 teas, instant teas, and a coffee. So there is still plenty of leftovers to get you through the rest of the 24-hour period. So very successful, very enjoyable, and I'd recommend anybody to get one of these. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.